All right, check this out. Lionel Messi, he's always news, right? But more when he was awarded with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Now, he was selected for his support for healthcare and education programs with children around the world. We know that he's involved with UNICEF specifically. But here's a little detail I'll leave here for you guys. And you're going to tell me if you're cool with it or not. Because Lionel Messi, as you can see from the footage that we're seeing, was not present due to a scheduling conflict. Are you cool with it, Herc?
All right, so there's two, I guess.
A two-part question, right?
Well, the outrage online to some is like, why is he getting it? You know, what's going on here? He's one of 19 distinguished people who are going to get this Medal of Honor from the current president, and you can make a case of, are you cool with that? Or make the case, are you cool with him not going? I think it's perfectly fine that he wins a Medal of Honor. I mean, they're highlighting the many foundations that he has, the many ways that he's helped underprivileged kids in the United States, around the world. I've got no problem them honoring Messi in that way. It's not because he made soccer or football in the States, you know, bigger or more seen. That's not the case. You know, MLS nor Apple are going to release those numbers. That's not what it is. It's for what he's done off the field and what he continues to do with children and impacting their lives. I'm with that. I'm not cool with him not attending. And this is not on Messi. But surely in Messi's inner circle, somebody close to him, Major League Soccer to somebody close to him, U.S. Soccer to somebody close to him, representation here should have made Messi and his camp aware of how big a deal this actually was, how amazing of a moment it could have been for not just Messi, but his foundations, what he's trying to highlight, what he's trying to empower here. And that wasn't made clear. That message wasn't received strong enough, so he doesn't send a letter and says, thanks, but I've got scheduling conflicts. If I'm Major League Soccer, if I'm MLS, Don Garber, I can't believe this is happening. U.S. Soccer as well. How does this happen? I mean, he pretty much gave POTUS, he pretty much gave the White House the same letter he gave Don Garber and MLS when he's like, hey, I'm not going to go accept your MLS MVP award. Mail it in. And that, to me, you know, is a shame. And it's not on Messi, but somebody there should have been there to let him know.
Maybe there was, right? And it just trickled down and the decision came to, no, it's a scheduling conflict. And we don't know what kind of scheduling conflict it is, right? Because it just says that very vaguely, a scheduling conflict. Shaka, the same two-parted question for you. One, are you cool with him getting the Medal of Freedom in the first place and him showing up? Because we know there's two parts to this. Are you cool with it?
Yeah, let me answer the second part first. I will freely assume that somehow the message didn't get relayed properly, or the gravity of the award wasn't relayed properly to Lionel Messi. This is a big deal. I'm with her. This is as big a deal as you can ask or expect or be awarded with as a private citizen here in the U.S. So I'm to not show up, to only quote a scheduling conflict without the fullest of context, just doesn't sit right for me. And now, as to the first part about him getting it, and now full disclosure, I asked her to read the criteria around receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and truth be told, given his work with UNICEF, given his charities and everything that he continues to do globally, I can't really argue with that. I will counter that with, had Lionel Messi not been playing in Major League Soccer for all of 18 months, I might add, would he have received this award? I'm not so sure you can make that argument. And then while, yes, you can look at all that he continues to do through his foundations, through his charities, globally for so many, for so many people in need, you put that up against the likes of Irving Magic Johnson, of Denzel Washington, their contributions to not only their sport, their art forms, but also charities. And you ask yourself, has Lionel Messi given that in the 18 months that he's been here to put him alongside the likes of a Magic Johnson and Denzel Washington? And I know it's not apples to apples here, but it just, listen, I take nothing away from all that he continues to do, and he should be celebrated for that. But just in terms of this award, a US award, it just doesn't line up for me, especially when you consider the others who were there in the room.
Kind of feels like we're talking about the MVP award at the same time because of the short amount of games that he played too, right? Because of the timing wise that you said, Shaka, but you're right in this list, and we saw him on screen too. Bono got the Medal of Freedom. We know what Bono has done in the last not even 18 months, but in so many years with his work outside of what his art is, of course, which is music. But what do you think about what Shaka is saying in his 18 months in MLS? Has that?
I go back to what Shaka highlighted about the many foundations and his ambassador role, and what he's continued to do for for children in the United States and elsewhere, and that in itself merits it. I think this is one where I think Major League Soccer drops the ball here. If there was any moment when you're not behind a paywall, when people who don't pay attention to the sport might pay attention, this could have been one of those moments. And this is a moment to highlight your league. This is a moment to highlight the biggest player you have. This is a moment to put yourself on that level, as Shaq was alluding to. And you mailed it in, literally. You mailed it in. The gravity of the situation was not transmitted well enough to his camp for it to get to him. And I don't think that's on Messi. I really don't. I really don't. I think this is more on, because I'm sure this is a petition for Major League Soccer where this comes through. They got to petition his camp to understand the importance of this award. It's the highest civilian award you could have in the United States. It's likened to getting knighted in the UK, and Shaq could tell you how big a deal that is down there and how they treat that. This is a major dropping of the ball moment for Major League Soccer.
Maybe if they would have told him that he would have been called Sir Lionel Messi.
Señor.
Señor. El Señor Lionel Messi. Señor Shaka Hislop, thank you so much for being with us on Football Americas. Always appreciate your time.
Always so much fun. Thank you for having me.